E-L-O-E-J, a little aloha in our day. Spread a little aloha around the world. At breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Poncho Man. Welcome, everybody. Breakfast with Bob, not quite Kona edition. My name is Bob Babbitt, and we are brought to you by Hoka One Master Spas, Clash Endurance, UCAN Hyper Ice, Premium Plus Sports, Form Smart Swim Goggles, and of course, our Challenge Athletes Foundation. We just set out 3,038 grants, totaling $5.1 million. Keep challenged athletes in the game of life through sport. A gentleman who has had an epic season, probably one of the greatest seasons in history, not only winning the Olympic gold medal and winning the World Championships, but also going faster than anybody has ever gone at the Ironman distance, going 7:21:12 at Ironman Cozumel. Mr. Kristian Blummenfelt joins us. Kristian, how the heck are you doing?
Well, thank you very much. I'm doing fine. Kind of starting to get back into training again after Sunday. Had like 2 days there after the race where I just felt absolutely smashed. Just like you don't really know if you're sick or if it's just like if this is how you're supposed to be feeling after a race. But now it's Thursday and I'm about to kind of start feeling it's responding fine again on the easy training. So trying to get into the rhythm again.
So here's two guys from this little city in Norway, and Gustav Iden wins 70.3 worlds. You win the Olympic gold, and then you might be the only guy in history to win Olympic gold and win an Ironman in the same year. I don't know if that's ever happened before. I know Mark Allen won the first ever World Championship back in '89, and then he won the Ironman World Championship. But you might be the first guy to do that. Did you talk to Gustav after he went and did Ironman Florida?
Yeah, talked about him and Mikael, and it wasn't a big surprise what he did there. Like, we've been doing long training sessions together for many years, so I knew that as long as he didn't go on any kind of mistakes, he would be having a huge potential, especially on the run. So he was kind of targeting kind of the same pace as I was targeting here, being around 3:35K or minute per K on the run. So it wasn't a big surprise. So, but I also wanted to come here and kind of do a similar strong performance as he did. Of course, the times are quite different, but that's maybe mainly down to the huge difference of the swim time. Like,
right.
He had a very tough, rough swim while had a support of the current. So even though it's like 20 minutes different, it's probably going to be quite exciting to race in St. George in like 6 months' time.
So this next year, will you do both of the Ironman World Championships? Is a plan to do St. George and do Kona?
Yeah. So I'm looking at it as a unique opportunity to race the World Championship both on Hawaii and outside of Hawaii. Like it's the first time you race outside. So just try to look at it in a positive way, and then also get the chance to go to the iconic island in October.
What did you take away from your first Ironman? Because that's when reading Gustav's notes after the race, he was like, "Oh my God, I am so beat up. There was times I just wanted to drop out." Were you feeling that same type of thing? What did you come away with after that experience?
It's more like that we got the results from kind of the preparation we've been doing towards this race has been good, and also that was kind of responding well in the humidity. It wasn't super warm, but we're still in Mexico, so it's not like it's a cold race.
Right.
And also I was able to race well over 6-7.5 hours. So it's more like trying to do some kind of adjustment on the bike and maybe do a little bit 6 more months of preparation, and hopefully I will be able to run faster.
And you're going to do Clash Daytona next week, which is you're giving yourself a week off, and then you're jumping right back into a middle distance race.
Yeah, that's right. Right. It's like in 10 more days, it's the Clash Daytona on the
On the
racing
track.
circuit.
Yeah.
And I guess it's going to be kind of good to have a little bit of leg speed as well, not just going all in for the long distance, but kind of keeping the view to max high and the engine kind of running at higher intensity as well, because then I probably can have a bigger ceiling, so I can have a bigger potential over the Ironman distance.
When I look at obviously you had the Olympic finish where you made your move 2K to go. And then when we were watching Edmonton, where you became the first male to win Olympic gold and the world triathlon title in the same year in Edmonton, you had to out sprinting Martin Van Riel on the blue carpet. I mean, we're talking seconds there. Well, talk a little bit about, obviously you've got that top end. You probably didn't want it to come down to that, but you got Martin right at the end.
Well, top end and top end speed. I think I started that sprint like a K away from the finish line. So it's more like just timed it. That was enough. So I guess if I didn't went to the front there with a K left, I would probably be in a different position. So I still think that I need to kind of drag the sprint out from like a K and a half from the finish line. And maybe in Ironman, I would probably do it from like 3 to 4 to 5K from the finish line.
Right. You're also part of this sub-7 program. Now, after going 7:21, obviously the swim was current aided, but still you're going to be able to use pacers for the bike and the swim and the run. You're probably looking at going, well, maybe this is possible.
Yeah, it's like we've always believed like with a good team around me, it should be possible. Especially now when kind of the bike riders that is going to help me is kind of now we've found a quite strong team there that can help me and are really good on aerodynamic. So that makes it kind of more easier to believe that actually we can go quite fast on the bike and maybe like 3:45 there, which is like almost 20 minutes faster than what I did here in Cozumel, even though we probably have to add on a little bit time, as you said, on the swim, but 20 minutes there on the bike with hopefully fresher legs coming off the bike to be able to run faster. I think is just there you have a sub-7 hour Ironman.
What are the rules in terms of how many pacers you can use for the bike and the run?
It's 10 in total.
10 in total, and you decide how to use them.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be like 2 on the swim, 7 on the bike, and 1 on the run. So the bike portion is so important because that's where I have to be kind of hidden from the wind the most.
Did you surprise yourself at all at Cozumel? I mean, you win by 15 minutes. Right? I think you end up winning the thing by 15. You sort of dominated the race. Was there a point towards the end of the run where you're going, oh my God, my legs are just dying? Or did that come after the race?
The biggest surprise for me were like I was able to feel so strong on the bike power wise.
Yeah, 402. Yeah. What type of power were you pushing?
Like 295. And I felt like that was within the control, and also I was quite steady for the first, second, and third lap here in Cozumel. So to be able to feel that I didn't fade off the last hour is maybe what I was most pleased of, and also that I was able to focus on the hydration and nutrition, and also doing the pacing on the run. I would like to have run a little bit faster than what I did. But we can do that in the next round.
You can do that at St. George or in Kona next year. Now, have you been to Kona before?
Never. So I would like to go there before the race itself, just to get to know the course and to get the kind of go through the whole course and get familiar with that, and then maybe go off the island and stay on the neighbor island for the acclimation part, and then come back again quite quickly before the race. So
a lot of guys go to Maui and do some training over there. Now, will you train with Gustav leading into that?
I'm not sure if he's doing Hawaii, but he just confirmed now that he's gonna join me for the training towards St. George. So join the altitude camp and that part. So that'll be fun because it's like 6 months of very hard training, and to be able to share with someone else makes it more enjoyable.
Yeah,
and to share the kind of the pools as well. Like when we're doing the run session, to be able to do like 10-15 minutes each in the front and just kind of changing and relaxing and trying to push the pace.
Yes,
it's kind of making it bringing the level and the training to the next level.
What's going to be fascinating next year, you've got you'll have the St. George in early May, and then you've got Kona in October. Then there's also 70.3 Worlds back in St. George, right? Later than that. Will your focus be the two Ironman, the two full Ironmans? Because it's sort of hard to balance both of those.
Yeah, so 2020 is all about the Ironman distance for me. So I want to do St. George, and then we have sub 7 in between, and then Hawaii. And then if I can find a race in end of February, early March, I would like to do that.
I'll do another full.
Yeah, if I can find one, then maybe something in end of the year. So we're looking at potentially 5 next year. So
what are you, Cam Worth? What the hell are you doing? Or Lionel Sanders? That's crazy man talk.
But hopefully in the future we can make this kind of World Series, in Ironman. So it's like 5 races and you accumulate points.
That we had that. We used in the 90s. We had the Ironman World Series, and it was the best of 5, with the Kona race counting double points. So it was a pretty cool series. Yeah, a lot of legends in it. So I love it. The last time we did the interview, you were wearing a shirt that said "Created for the Future," and the reality is the future obviously is now. When you win the Olympic gold and you win you break the Ironman world record basically in the same summer. Looking back at the little kid who got into this sport, this was the dream, right? The dream was Tokyo. You told us when we chatted in Nice, people don't care in Norway if you get 6th, 7th, 8th, nobody cares. If you win, then they care. Looking back to where you were when you guys decided we're going to go win a gold medal in Tokyo and where you are now, how do you look back at that?
Well, it's really strange, like looking back, like from starting as a junior, like not really knowing if you can kind of make a living out of the sport, to suddenly being able to have done it for 6, 7, 8 years and kind of starting to build up and getting the titles, and we don't have to go too much back. It's just like 6, 7 months ago, I had no titles. Like I didn't have the World Championship title or the Olympic title, I only had like 1 grand final win. So it's been like amazing 12 months, and it's kind of seems like it all comes together after the odd 2020 season.
Well, did that having with COVID and everything, because there weren't any races, you could put in that a lot of people have done really well because they had such consistent training. You didn't have to travel for the race, especially the way you guys do with the WTS. You're traveling all over the place, packing up, recovering, tapering. You didn't have any of that. You could just focus on your training.
Yeah, but like, I think you have 2 kinds of groups there. Like you have the ones who's been able to enjoy the training and do like training a bit differently wise. Like I've maybe been in that group where we have done some kind of very long rides, doing long runs in the mountains and trying to do some 5Ks and 10K challenge. And then you maybe have the ones who's been struggling a little bit more with the motivation and maybe haven't been able to keep being in a part of the training group that they normally has been. So there I've been quite lucky. Like I've been in Bergen, I were in Bergen with both Gustav and Kasper and rest of the guys. So I still kind of had my training group, and we were kind of enjoying the time, trying to train and just enjoy being outside and being active.
So when is Kasper jumping into this full Ironman stuff? or is he?
Well, he tried. He did.
Oh, did he?
He did Frankfurt. He did.
Oh, did he?
He did Frankfurt until 30K mark, and then
Oh, that's right.
really struggling with the cramps, and yeah, had a bad time there with 10K to go, and also he lost his nutrition on the bike. So
Right.
he wanted to be a part of the journey to Hawaii and St. George. So hopefully he can give it a second try and come on board.
Yeah. Well, he win 70.3 Nice? He won that, right?
Yeah, so he's qualified for the
Or
70.3 World Championship.
Yeah. So yeah. That's still amazing to me. 3 guys from the same town dominating the sport. It's pretty crazy. Do you have an off season at all? Are you have any type of downtime? Because if you're training for another Ironman in February after doing Clash Daytona, it's not like you're taking much time off.
Well, I had actually after Super League in Malibu, when I came home there, I had like 7 days at home where I did nothing, no training at all. But then from there, I went straight to altitude training in Sierra Nevada. So I had like 5 weeks in Sierra Nevada, and then I came here to Cozumel and stayed here for 2 weeks. And now I'm still in Cozumel, enjoying the nice weather and kind of doing the recovery here. So you can kind of call this off season, even though I'm heading to Daytona next week and trying to have a good race there.
Oh, that'd be a great way to finish up your season with another big win. With the altitude training, and obviously that's for years the top triathletes would go to Boulder, or they'd go up to Steamboat Springs and train up at altitude before big races. Have you done that before, or was that first time?
No, I've done it many times.
Many times.
I've been to Sierra Nevada twice a year since 2015, except in 2020, and only once because of COVID.
Right.
And we also go to Formö normally in the summer. So we have 3 long altitude camps, and we enter just for like 3 weeks, which normal groups are. We are there for like longer period of time. So this time I waited for 5 weeks up in Sierra Nevada, and got like a really good response in the training. And like in the end there, I could almost do the race pace that I was aiming for doing here in Cozumel. I could do it almost in full sessions up in 2,300 meters. So
wow,
that gave me kind of a good confidence that if I'm able to kind of acclimatize to the kind of humidity and the potentially heat I would face there, then I would be quite strong for race day. So
will you do the Sierra Nevada camp before Kona or before St. George?
So now for next year, I will try. The plan is to use it 3 times actually. So going straight up again in January before my potentially first race of the year, and then back again before St. George, and then back again before Hawaii. I think so.
Wow.
Like second home. We have placed some stuff there. We have a room where we can kind of keep some stuff so we don't have to travel with everything all the time.
So how is it, like you said before, people don't notice until you win things and win major things like gold medal in Norway. How is your world changed from a sponsorship perspective, recognition perspective? Like you said, up until 7 months ago, you didn't have a world title.
Well, like I've been lucky to have like good sponsors already from maybe since 2017, 2018 season. So there, like I feel I had good partners already, but it's maybe more like kind of the recognition from the kind of the street. And when I've never come here to Cozumel, it's a lot of athletes cheering on and taking pictures and giving kind of thumbs up and support, and that's obviously giving me a lot of energy, and it's just really cool to see kind of how engaged people are, and especially actually in long distance. That's maybe where you see the biggest kind of the engagement.
Yeah, you also did Super League.
Yeah, Malibu.
Talk about variety, Olympic, full distance, 70.3. And oh, by the way, the eliminator at the Super League where you got 5th, right? You crunched Gustav, he got 9th. So yeah, you own him.
Yeah. So I was actually quite surprised with Super League there, because I came and thought that, okay, I've focused on St. George. I have kind of nothing to do here. I don't have the speed. I don't have the kind of the technical skills, but I'm just going to give my best and just take. And in the first round, I was kind of surprised that I was actually in the mix. So I just went for it, just kind of on the run there.
Yes.
In the second round, I felt quite good again. And it wasn't really before the third round that I actually believed that I can actually potentially win it and even be on the podium.
Yeah.
But I guess I just missed that kind of final leg speed. The two first round, I guess, didn't cost me too much. It's more that I didn't have that kind of final kick in terms of leg speed.
So a lot of times what I've seen over the years is people who come from the 5K or 10K and move to the marathon. Usually their first couple of marathons are great. And then they start, and the same thing with triathlon. They come from Olympic distance and they do well with the long distance. And then they sort of forget about the short distance training. And they start thinking of themselves as Ironman athletes or as marathoners. I'm imagining your coaches are saying, no, we still got to keep our speed. Because when you're running 234, 235 off the bike, you have to have that raw speed. How will you incorporate short distance racing moving forward, or will you?
Not racing, but training. But we want to have kind of the ceiling as high as possible, in the same way as I want to keep the VO2 max high, so I have a bigger potential in Ironman. Because if I only do Ironman specific training, then probably my VO2 max will drop quite a lot. So we will try to kind of find a way where we can balance that. And we've played around with kind of how the training week should be, with kind of how many days we should do high intensity and how many days we should do kind of the Ironman specific stuff. So now we have used the weekends for doing the more race specific. So for example, doing long ride Saturday and then another long ride on Sunday, going off to 30K race pace on Sunday as well. So there we kind of do over Ironman distance.
Yes.
Split it up in 2 days. So we kind of bring the fatigue from the day before into the second day without doing it all in one day. So trying to play around with a little bit like this, and then having some higher intensity on Tuesday to Wednesday, Thursday.
So when you say over distance, how far are you guys going?
No, well, I were in Sierra Nevada, so I didn't get too many Ks, but because it's like down the mountain and it's back again, 2,000 meter of timing. So, but it's more like if you do 4 hours of riding or 5 hours of riding the day before, and you go off and do another 4 hours the following day and doing 2.5 hours on the run, then it's kind of over duration.
Oh yeah. And the amazing part is you're staying healthy, and obviously you still love this.
Yeah, it's kind of the lifestyle I dreamed about as a junior. I remember being in Las Plaitas first time and being there on training camp with a mate, and between the sessions, I was laying there in the sun and kind of relaxing, and I was just imagining, just imagine doing exactly this without having to bring my school box to the camp, just swim, bike and run, and that's it. And that's kind of what I'm doing now.
I love it. That's great. Hey, Kristian, thanks so much for taking time to chat. I love what you bring to our sport. I love your energy and just that your go for it attitude. You just go out there and go as hard as you can. And watching you race is really a treat. I love the way you attack the race course. Oh, did Gustav call you after your win?
Not called me, but I spoke to his brother, at least, I think. And then we have this group chat on Snapchat where we kind of chat between the team. So I'm not sure if I spoke to him directly.
Okay. Did he text, say any messages like I went 234, you went 235?
Yeah, something like that.
Great.
But again, he was running in 17 degrees Celsius. I was like closer to 30. So
I love it. Kristian, enjoy Cozumel. We'll see you next week in Daytona.
yeah, that would be great.
Love it. Kristian Blummenfelt has been our guest, Olympic gold medalist and the fastest Ironman in history. Thank you, buddy. Take care of yourself.
Thanks.
All right.